Hello everyone, this is Rick, and I just wanted to share with you some information about entering data into Excel 2007, a couple of handy tips about formatting and different categories that come up often, such as text, dates, percentage values, dollar values, how to format those cells, and how to enter and edit data, and a couple of other handy tips. So anyways, what I did is just made a couple of categories here. And if you'll notice, I'm going to expand this column a little bit, but here in column B, if I click in this first cell in B1, if I want to look at the format of that cell, I can right click it and choose, let go of the right mouse button when you do that, scroll down, click Format Cells, and you'll notice the category is General. There's other categories here. If you wanted to, you could change it into a number, currency, a date, percentage, whatever the appropriate formatting is. So here's alignment if you want to move things around, and we'll show you that a little bit later. So anyways, under item name, I'm going to go ahead and type in item name is widget. The date, you notice it was just general formatting, but what I've done is, or what happens is, if I put in today's date, which is February 5th, 2010, I hit return, you notice it put it in a date format. You'll notice on this one here, if I go back and look at the format cells, it's still under the general category. If I go under this cell, B2, where I typed in a date, you'll notice it changed it to a date format. And you can change it to whatever format you would like. So you see this one listed as month, day, year, and it shows you a little sample here. So let's assume that I want to change it to the day with the, spelled out like that. And you'll notice I got the hash marks here. That means it doesn't fit into the cell. So what I do is I expand that column to where it'll fit. And you see now it's Friday, February 5th, 2010. Okay? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit undo a couple times, and I'm going to change it back to my old setting. Percentage, what you can do here, if you type 20, that's not really going to be valid if you're trying to get 20%, because what happens here, if I right click on it and again go to Format Cells, it put it in as a fraction. What we want to do is click on percentage, and you'll notice 20 is really 2000%. So in order to enter 20 correctly, you can do it a couple of different ways. If the cell is not formatted for fractions, you would type 0.20. If it was already formatted for percentages, you could type in 20. But if you type in 20 without having the cell pre-formatted, it's going to come up as 2000%, not 20%. So if this were a regular cell that you hadn't altered any of the formatting, you'd type 0.20 for 20%, and then you would go into that cell, format it, and choose your percentage, and then you can choose your number of decimal places here. Okay? So just a couple quick things I wanted to point out. You need to think in advance about how you want your formatting done, because that, especially if you're doing percentages, how you enter it into the cell will impact the actual percentage that shows up. Okay? Dollar value, we'll type in $20. So you type in $20, it's just going to come up as plain 20 here. But let's say you want to format it